I'm renovating my shop. Here's the deal. My shop is a 19-foot by 19-foot, 2-car garage. Well, most of it 2-car garage. Some of it's used for my family, but the majority of it is my shop. And I think it's a pretty good sized space. I've got room for all my tools, including my big table saw. This is probably about 6 foot wide. It's huge. It was much bigger than I thought when I first got it. But I made room for it, and I'd say it's a decent space, except that I've got this one part that's just taking up too much space that I built a long time ago, and it has to go. Right here is my storage workbench combination, which was my very first project I ever built. I used 2x4 construction for this, and it's got some storage, a workbench with pegboard right here, which is a big mess because I never use it. It just is a place to put stuff. Toolbox storage, and then more storage beneath. Now, I never show this in any of my videos, because like this is always never shown because it is just a horrible mess. I never use it, and there's no way for me to use it when there are these walls on either side. Originally, this was going to be a miter saw bench, but I can't do that because of those walls on either side, and because they both have electrical that I ran into them as well. And it's really sad to see this thing go, but I could use this wall for better stuff than clutter. Another reason why I want to renovate my shop is because it just looks bad. You can see the drywall has not been finished. It has been mudded, but it has not been painted yet. And some of it's already peeling off, as you can see. But it has not been painted. It's only been like coated with some spackle, I think is what it's called. And as they're my homemade light fixtures, and this also gives me an opportunity because I want to paint everything. Because I tried to do something other than painting, putting up these plywood panels, and they just look terrible. And I put like probably about 1,000 nail holes in my wall, if you can see that. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of this awful paneling and just paint this entire garage. It also gives me an opportunity to add on some more lights, because I've got 2 lights here, a couple lights back there, but nothing over there. So I think I'm gonna put 2 more lights over there. We're at the end of day 1. I've got most of it clear, and then I just transferred it from here onto the table, sorted some stuff out. Found about 4 hammers in here, and a bunch of other stuff, but it's pretty, I gotta say, cleared up quite a bit. Still gotta clear up the wood and literally everything else. Alright, this concludes day 1. I said this at I said that this concludes day 1, but I decided to keep on working out of here. It's currently 9:00 p.m. and I want to get this aluminum taken off. That way I can sweep all the sawdust into like a dustpan without being in the way. So I'll show you how I take this off. I'll start off with this corner because it seems the most easy. But what you want to do is you just want to take an impact driver and just unscrew it. And there we go. Hey guys, what's up? Day 2. I woke up extremely early to start because I was too eager, and I'm half asleep, half awake, so I gotta figure out to test if I'm awake enough to remove this pegboard and all the tools on it. just emptied all the pegboard, took all the tools off of it, and the one thing that I can't believe is that all those tools fit into this tiny 5-gallon bucket. Every single thing is taken down. I've never seen it look this, well, empty before, besides when I was putting it up, which was over a year ago. So now let's remove the pegboard, and I gotta remove the clock first. Couldn't come out because of this pegboard, and this pegboard had some electrical in it. I just removed this outlet, and now that I've done that, I'm going to remove this pegboard, then I'll remove that pegboard. Down this pegboard, and what I realized is that I cannot remove this stud part without a sawzall, because some of these screws I don't have access to because they're buried deep in there, and my drill won't go that far. So I'm going to use a sawzall to just cut the screws and just cut this entire thing right out. There we go. So I got the pegboard removed on that side and the stud wall here, which means I was able to get this pegboard out. And to remove the studs, you can see that there are the screws from the studs, and I just used the sawzall to cut through. This little one-handed sawzall is great, I'll link it down below. Alright, so the electrical, you can see how it's run. What I did was I spliced it off of this outlet right here, ran it through, stapled it, ran it to an outlet down there, and then from that outlet it went to an outlet up here, which I removed, and then from there it would also go to the light switch that I had, which would go up to the ceiling light, and then to another outlet. So now I gotta figure out how to take that down, because I used an overkill amount of staples. When you're plunge cutting with a handsaw, what you want to do is you want to take the handsaw, raise up the guard, lined up with your line, and then pull the trigger and slowly bring the saw down. Do not try this if you're a beginner. Alright, there we go. took down the light while I was at it because I've got plans for this. I've got the slot cut to cut out this 2x4 that's, you know, well, spanning the entire way. I'm going to make one cut here and then I'm going to make another cut there. The problem is I don't think this little 12-volt compact reciprocating saw could handle it because it's so small and it's only meant for, because it's a 12 volt, it's not a 20 volt, it just doesn't have the juice to be able to do this. This is my second battery already. So I might have to go and borrow an actual, real big reciprocating saw. So this concludes day 2. I got the table, pegboard, all the electrical stuff taken care of. And now I gotta empty this crap and clean up this crap. Alright, I know I said it was the end of day 2, sort of like how I said it was the end of day 1 earlier. But this was the outlet that I had wired. Originally there was this wire that was connecting it, which connected to an outlet that was originally right there, which connected to all my other stuff over there. But that's not the point. The point is, I accidentally wired this wrong, and since this was wired in series, this outlet connects to the switch that is, if I'm pointing to it correctly, right there, which used to be an outlet. Now I converted that into a light switch and put up lights. But the problem is, since it was wired in series, if this outlet's not working, then that's not working. So my lights aren't able to turn on. And since I don't like to hide mistakes on this channel, I like to show them, I'm going to try to fix this and get the electrical back running. What I want to do is turn off the power. Alright, so now I just have to open up the cover plate. But first, before doing that, I want to test it to make sure that the power is off. And to do that, I am simply going to plug something in, and it should not turn on. Alright, now with that taken care of, all we got to do is remove the receptacle. Just like that. Now you just gotta pull it out, making sure not to grab those in case the wires are still alive. And then you want to pull it out to see what has been going on, and yes, there's our culprit right there. I don't don't know if you can see this, guys, but I've zoomed in, and this black wire right there, I don't know if you can see it, I'll pull it out a little bit further. There you go. Put that right there. That black wire was the culprit, because it has pulled out of my receptacle. So now all you have to do is shove it back in. And to do that, you could just shove it back in the hole like how it originally was. Or you could do my way, which is the better way, and undo the second screw. Usually receptacles would have 2 screws on the side, and then bend your wire and then loop it around the screw. But I took the wire, and there we go, and I bent it into a U, and this U-shaped part will loop around. If I could get it in there, it will loop. Let's maybe just like nudge it in there with the screwdriver. There we go. Pull it tight. There we go. That will loop around the screw. Now I just got to screw it in place like this. And then we just put it back in place. Alright, so it's pretty dark in here. Those lights are connected to a different circuit. And I got that wall outlet fixed. And that saw is also connected to a different circuit, so that's the reason why it's lighting up. But let's see if those turn on. Let's flip the switch and moment of truth.
We did it! We did it! Yeah!
Alright, so it is day 3. Again, very early in the morning, as you can see out the windows. And I gotta do a lot more cleaning up. So I'm gonna empty this, get the wood down there taken care of, and everything that's also leaning against this before I could actually tear down the shelf. So it's just a lot more cleaning up, and I'm not going to record this because it's extremely boring. I borrowed a full-size reciprocating saw. And this thing it's massive, it's heavy, it's cordless, it should get the job done. So this concludes day 3. I got the workbench fully taken out. I got the bottom shelf, the sheet part of it, not plywood, like the sheet part taken out. So we've just got a frame, and I'd say that's pretty good progress for today. I just got to take out all those bins, remove this frame down here, remove those 2 top frames, and then I'll be done. It's day 4. So now I gotta remove the yellow boxes, which again I'm doing off camera because it's boring. One other problem is it may not look it because of the green grass and everything and the sunny weather, but it is not sunny at all. In fact, it is only 8 degrees out right now. Well, 8 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that'd be in Fahrenheit. I don't care. But it's not the weather that it looks, and it's really challenging because I always tend to work with my my door open. So having it closed is kind of a pain in the butt. so everything is taken down, which is good enough for me. Perfect space. Now I just gotta paint this wall, then put up some new overhead storage up above so I could still put all the bins where I need to put them. I'm probably gonna put a tool wall over here and probably move my drill charging station because that's in a really awkward spot right now. And overall I think it's pretty good. So I'll see you on the next video.